Hello YouTube, the Tribe of the Horror Realm. We're doing the 13th Wolfman's Top 5. This is number 7, which is um, Top Atomic Age horror films, sci-fi films. And of course, he said the one thing is it had to be made in the 50s. Um, of course, we, we're developing a lot of strides scientifically with atomic weapons, nuclear power, and of course there was a Cold War going on with Russia. So there was as much optimism, there was a lot of paranoia as well, and it came out in cinema. So there's a lot of great films from the 50s. I got to watch a lot of them growing up as reruns, not original. On like Creature Double Feature and all. So it took me a while to figure out the ones that I liked, but in no specific order. I think I went over 5, so I'm going to do 5 plus 1. First one, I'm going to have to go with The Incredible Shrinking Man, 1957. What a great film this is. Of course, we had the people that grew to colossal size, but the Shrinking Man was, he was just stuck in a shed, pretty much, and it just, the whole fighting bugs and stuff like that, where they were bigger than him. It's a great tale, keeps you captivated from beginning to end, and you can find it on the Universal Classic Sci-Fi DVD set, and it is a gem. Growing up, I never actually didn't get to see it until I was older, and I appreciated it so much more. Just didn't have the great monsters that I know a lot of these you haven't seen. The next one is also found on a classic sci-fi movie set, and that's the 1956 The Mole People. Always loved the Mole People. They were these really ugly-looking creatures with those big hands, and as a kid, I had the little trading cards that had them on there, and those were always at the top of the deck because they were such a cool monster. And when you actually see the film, you get they basically are going down into a civilization that's made up of these really pasty white people who have these mole people as slaves. A little message there, huh? Anyhow, and apparently these pasty people combust when they hit sunlight pretty easily too. But it has a definite atomic age feel of exploration and what's around you. But beyond that, there's a tale of redemption, freeing these people from their torment is being used. And they're these ugly creatures, but they need to be freed up too. So it's a really good tale. The Mole People is really cool. 1957, 20 million years to Earth. Ray Harryhausen Spectacular. Basically, the premise of it is somehow we figured out that there's this really viable minerals up on Venus, and they send a space exploration ship up there, and it's 20 million years away from Earth. Excuse me, 20 million miles away from Earth, and things don't go well, and the ship comes back and crashes. There are 2 survivors, one which quickly perishes, with a warning that something they brought back needs to be destroyed. And it washes up on a beach, and this young little boy ends up selling it to a doctor. It's this egg in a little jelly form, and it breaks open, and this little Venetian, I don't know how to say it, Elysian reptile comes out, this little thing. And apparently oxygen does a number to it because it grows and grows and grows, and it is purely attracted to sulfur. Now, but the Ray Harryhausen did a great job of bringing the Ymir to life. We have a great battle with an elephant in there, and ultimately he goes to the Colosseum for his final battle. And, it's just a fun sci-fi film. And you get a giant monster. And of course, I know Thomas had made mention about back then we had a lot of those giant bug movies. Yeah, giant bug movies, don't you?
No, I hate bugs.
The Deadly Mantis, big giant thing.
No, honey. I don't like.
Them?
I don't like bug movies. I'd
The one with
be
the
even
big
scared by
ants?
8-legged freaks.
What about the big,
Acronomia.
the big ants and the creepy sound in the sewer?
Acrophobia. No. I could do
How about tarantula?
I could do anaconda.
How about tarantula?
No. Oh my god. I can't
Okay.
even do. I can't even. You know what's How to Instruct the Kid?
I didn't do it.
No, but they show bugs in that movie too.
Well, I'm not actually even picking out a bug movie. That's just one of those subgenres that run for a while in the 50s.
I hate bug movies.
The next one is I'm gonna have to put this one next, but it's Day the Earth Stood Still. Very interesting how you can read that movie. It comes across with a bit of totalitarianism, but at some points it seems more of have a lot of religious parables with it. But ultimately, there is a message in there where, um, we're at odds with each other. We're so fearful of each other, and we're fearful of what we do not know. And sometimes it is going to ultimately we're just showing our ignorance. And it was really a great message of its time in 1951. Of course, later butchered by Keanu Reeves in 2008. But the original film starred Michael Rennie, and he was an unknown actor at the time. They thought it would be great to use him because no one knew really who he was, so he would fit in playing an alien. So the original idea was to have Spencer Tracy portray the role of Klaatu. And the number 5 film, or 1 film if we're doing it reverse, is of course one of my favorites, Gojira. Not Godzilla King of Monsters with Raymond Burr, but the original Godzilla film, Gojira. Classic Media put out a great presentation of this. A little scratchy, but something that it's hard to get a great shot of. But it plays so differently just as Gojira rather than the Raymond Burr portions that were added within. Very downbeat film. You see a lot of the suffering, and of course, this has a lot to do with the atomic bomb dropping. It's definitely got a message there as well. So those are the top 5. Now I did say there was one other one that I wanted to throw out there because it's goofy as shit. The monster looks ridiculous, and because of that, and it's actually a fun film to watch. And it was an early film for eventual Western star Lee Van Cleef, and that would be It Conquered the World. Roger Corman directed film in 1956 that starred that pointed-headed monster that was often referred to as Beulah. This creature, also from Venus, looking nothing like our old friend Ymir, comes down with the help of Lee Van Cleef. He's going to let him take over the planet. He's holed up in a little cave. Sends out his little bat-like things to drop devices on people and take them over. And then he stops time. All pretty well, machinery at least. All things stop working, except for Anderson's car and all that. his lawnmower over. But in the end, he realizes that his ego is getting too big, and he goes to destroy this creature from another world, and he does so, but in the end also suffers wounds that he perishes. It Conquered the World was actually, though so low budget and the effects aren't that good, it was a really good story. So good that they decided to butcher it again 10 years later in 1966 by Larry Buchanan under the title Zontar, the Thing from Venus. So if you want to see it in color, you get to watch Zontar. And Zontar looks a little different with the eyes and stuff. You don't see him too often except with the but I always get a kick out of watching either one of the two movies. So that's it. Those are my top 5. Incredible Shrinking Man, Mole People, Day the Earth Stood Still, Gojira, 20 Million Miles to Earth, and It Conquered the World. Now we're going to either do one or two things late at night. We're either going to go to bed, or we're going to pop open the DVD player and throw in some giant bug movies. What do you think? Bug movies it is!
No.
Thanks a lot.